My daughter brought home a boyfriend who looked exactly like her father, and I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Emma walked through the front door last Tuesday with this tall, dark-haired guy trailing behind her, and I literally dropped my coffee mug on the kitchen floor. Not because she brought a boy home. She's 17, I expected that. But because this kid looked exactly like my ex-husband David when we first met in college. Same crooked smile, same way of running his hand through his hair when he was nervous, even the same stupid laugh. I stood there staring while Emma introduced him as Tyler from her chemistry class. The whole time he's shaking my hand, all I could think about was David at 19, back when he still pretended to care about our relationship. I tried to play it cool during dinner. Tyler seemed nice enough, asking polite questions about my nursing job and complimenting my lasagna, but every time he smiled or gestured with his hands, it was like watching a ghost. Emma kept shooting me weird looks because I was being way too quiet. After they went upstairs to study, I called my sister Kate and told her about the whole thing. She laughed and said I was being dramatic. All teenage boys look the same, she said. You're just projecting because you hate David, but she wasn't there. She didn't see how Tyler held his fork or the way he tilted his head when Emma talked. It was creepy. 3 weeks later, Tyler was practically living at our house. He'd come over after school, stay for dinner, help Emma with homework. Nice kid, but every single day was like looking at David's younger self. The worst part was watching Emma fall for all the same things I did 20 years ago. The way Tyler would put his arm around her shoulders, how he'd bring her little gifts from the gas station, even how he'd text her constantly, but then ignore her when his friends were around. I tried dropping hints to Emma about taking things slow, maybe dating other people. She just rolled her eyes and said I didn't understand their connection. Tyler gets me in a way nobody else does, she said, which was literally word for word what I told my mom about David back in the day. The breaking point came last Saturday night. I was doing laundry and heard Emma crying in her room. When I knocked, she said Tyler had canceled their date plans last minute to hang out with his buddies. He'd done this twice before, always with some excuse about not wanting to seem whipped in front of his friends. Sound familiar? I sat on her bed and told her the whole truth. About David, about how Tyler reminded me of him, about all the red flags I was seeing. Emma got pissed and accused me of sabotaging her relationship because I was bitter about my divorce. We had a huge fight where she screamed that not every guy was going to abandon us like her dad did. That hit hard because she was right. I was terrified of watching her go through the same heartbreak, but I also knew what I was seeing. The next Monday, I did something crazy. I drove to Tyler's house after school and asked to talk to him privately. I told him he seemed like a good kid, but I'd noticed some patterns that worried me. How he'd prioritize his friends over Emma, how he'd get distant when she wanted to talk about feelings. Tyler got defensive at first, but then he actually listened. He admitted he didn't know how to balance having a girlfriend with his friendships, and that sometimes Emma's emotions felt overwhelming. We talked for almost an hour about respect and communication. I even shared some embarrassing stories about my own teenage relationships. By the end, Tyler seemed genuinely grateful for the advice. The weird part was, talking to him felt like having the conversation I wish someone had with David 20 years ago. Things changed after that. Tyler started being more present when they hung out, actually listening when Emma talked instead of just nodding along. He brought her flowers for her birthday instead of just a text. Emma noticed the difference but had no idea why.